How does the greatest quarterback of all time get ignored 199 times? That's not a metaphor. That's the 2000 NFL Draft, where Tom Brady, the man who'd win more Super Bowls than any franchise in history, sat waiting while 199 names were called before his. No cameras on him. No analysts hyping him up. Just a kid from San Mateo, California, watching his dream slip further away with every pick. But here's what they missed: this wasn't the first time Brady had been counted out. And the reason he'd prove them all wrong? It started long before draft day, in a childhood that taught him something most elite athletes never learn. This is the story of how being overlooked became his greatest advantage. San Mateo, California. 1980s. Tom Brady wasn't born into football royalty. He was the youngest of 4 kids in a middle-class family where nothing was handed to you, you earned it. His childhood? It was baseball. Brady was a catcher, a position that requires you to see the entire field, anticipate every move, and lead without the spotlight. While other kids dreamed of being the home run hitter, Brady learned to be the strategist. But here's the part no one talks about: Brady wasn't even the best athlete in his own family. And that's where it started, the obsession with preparation. The refusal to be outworked. Not because he was naturally gifted, but because he had to be. By the time Brady got to Junipero Serra High School, he wasn't the star quarterback everyone recruited. He was the backup. Again. And that's when he made a choice that would define everything. If no one was going to believe in him, he'd become impossible to ignore. September 23, 2001. Tom Brady wasn't supposed to play that day. Drew Bledsoe was the franchise quarterback, $103 million contract, Pro Bowl pedigree, the face of the Patriots. Brady? Still the backup. Still invisible. But then, in the fourth quarter against the Jets, Bledsoe took a brutal hit from Mo Lewis. He went down. And suddenly, the backup no one believed in was thrust into the starting role. This was it, the chance he'd been waiting for since that draft room humiliation. But here's what makes this moment different: Brady didn't just step in as a temporary replacement. He walked into that huddle and did something that would become his signature for the next 2 decades. He didn't try to be Drew Bledsoe. He didn't try to prove he belonged with some heroic throw. He just executed. Methodically. Precisely. No wasted motion. And that Patriots team, Bill Belichick's system built on discipline and preparation, it was like it had been designed for exactly this kind of quarterback. The league was about to learn what 199 teams missed. Tom Brady didn't need the strongest arm or the fastest legs. He had something better: he was unbreakable. Bill Belichick had a choice: go back to the $103 million veteran, or trust the 6th-round nobody. He chose Brady. The 2001 playoffs were supposed to be a fairy tale ending, for someone else. The heavily favored Raiders in the snow. The greatest show on turf, Rams in the Super Bowl, 14-point favorites. But Brady didn't just win, he dismantled the script. The tuck rule, game in the blizzard. The upset over the Rams. At 24 years old, Tom Brady held the Lombardi Trophy. 1 Super Bowl? That's a Cinderella story. But Brady wasn't done. 2003, another championship. 2004, another. 3 rings in 4 years. This wasn't luck. This wasn't a fluke. The NFL was witnessing the birth of something it had never seen, a dynasty built not on the number 1 pick, but on the guy nobody wanted. February 5, 2017. Super Bowl 51, Houston, Texas. Tom Brady had already won 4 Super Bowls. He was already a legend. But this game? This was different. The Atlanta Falcons were destroying the Patriots. 28-3, third quarter. No team in Super Bowl history had ever come back from more than 10 points down. Brady was down 25. ESPN's win probability tracker gave the Patriots a 0.4% chance of victory. Commentators were already writing the narrative, Brady's legacy tarnished. The dynasty over. Father Time undefeated. And for the first time in his career, it looked like the doubters might actually be right. But here's what separated this moment from every other comeback in sports history: Brady didn't panic. Didn't force it. Didn't try to be the hero. And then Brady did what he'd been doing since that silent draft room 17 years ago: he proved everyone wrong. Patriots win. 34-28. The greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Cemented by the guy picked 199th. This wasn't just a championship. This was the moment Brady answered every doubt, every criticism, every "he got lucky" narrative, once and for all. March 2020. Tom Brady left New England. After 2 decades, 6 Super Bowls, and a dynasty that redefined the NFL, he walked away from the only team that believed in him when no one else would. The narrative was set: Brady's done. He's 43 years old. He only won because of Belichick's system. Without the Patriots, he's just another aging quarterback chasing past glory. Even his own peers doubted him. NFL executives called the Tampa Bay signing a mistake. Analysts predicted he'd be exposed. But Brady saw something they didn't: one more mountain to climb. Tampa Bay hadn't won a playoff game in 18 years. They were talented but directionless, a team that needed exactly what Brady had spent 20 years perfecting: leadership, discipline, and championship belief. Year 1 in Tampa, Super Bowl champions. At 43 years old, Brady won his 7th ring, more than any franchise in NFL history. He didn't just prove he could win without Belichick. He proved that pick 199 wasn't a fluke. It wasn't the system. It wasn't luck. It was him. It always had been. The kid who sat in that draft room watching 199 names called before his, he ended his career with more Super Bowl rings than fingers on one hand, more MVPs than most Hall of Famers, and a legacy that will outlive every doubt, every critic, every team that passed on him. Tom Brady didn't just become the greatest of all time. He became proof that greatness isn't about where you're picked, it's about what you do with the chance you get. But Brady? He never stopped believing. If this inspired you, smash that like button, subscribe for more incredible comeback stories, and tell me in the comments, who's your pick for the most underrated athlete of all time?